Open your eyes and hear. Dear Southern Cameroonians, Amazonians, for several years now, the French government, the people of the government of the Republic of Cameroon, their military, they have planned and continue to destroy our land so that we may remain beggars and slaves under them. They have killed our people so that we can never rise again against their dictatorship, against their corruption, against their violence. They have given our people homes in their territory so they can assimilate them more and transform them into further slaves who do things without thinking, who surrender their freedom and their dignity without thinking. They have granted our elites and those of us who have a bit of money to open schools in their territory, schools controlled by them, and so have given them and their people the permission to educate our children in their own way and in their system. They have opened their doors to our people, our children, so that they can learn their ways and become more like them. And one day I say, they will never recognize their roots. They will never recognize their freedom. They will never live again to remember how it was back home. In a few years, we shall never recognize our own. They shall behave like them. They shall think like them. They shall speak like them. They shall be corrupt like them. They will become part of the system, the corrupt system for which our people have rightfully risen against. Our children are being brought up in that system, the system against which we fight. Open your eyes and see. Open your ears and hear. The consequences are not good. Open your hearts and hear. Open your minds and think. How on earth, how can we allow our children to be educated by our enemy? How can we allow our children to be brought up by a corrupt system, by a dictatorship, by a government that has lied to its own people about its own history? How can we allow our future to be determined by those who have murdered our own, who have burnt our villages, who have raped our children, driven bullets into their skulls, into their chests, and murdered our people, burnt them, maimed them, and continue to cripple them with their guns that they have got from their colonial masters? How can we allow our children to be educated by a system that has lied to us about our history and think that our children will one day know their history? How can we? This is the voice of reason. Open your eyes and hear. Like us Amazonians, Southern Cameroonians, to rethink our strategy and reverse the damage when it is still young. How? How do we get there? On deciding this day to reverse the damage and to rethink our strategy, the voice of reason suggests that we get our children back and educate them in our local, respectful, peaceful, and truthful values. That we return home and stay where it is safe. That we stop buying land in the French territory, for it will one day be taken away from you, and that is a plan which we are not seeing. Open your eyes and hear. Return home and build your lives where you can suffer with dignity. For one day, you shall be a slave who will have no water to drink in that foreign territory. Open your schools. Get home, put our hands together, let us open our schools and teach our children. Teach our children our culture. Teach them our ways. Teach them our values that make us different. We must not write GCEs, determined and controlled by the French government. We must not write exams that are determined and controlled by a dictatorship. We must take control of our own education, and we must do it now. Open your eyes and hear. Open your ears and see. For one day I fear that we shall be told that we can no longer cross the bridges of Mungo. Go back to Amazonia. One day I dare say that the buses which you are going to get into and hurriedly try to get back home, they will be derailed after my people, after they might have tried to delete you from their own system. The day may come when our enemies would have killed all our men in the southern Cameroons, taken over the land, and systematically begin to delete you from their own territory. Open your eyes and hear. If we cannot see, if our brains cannot understand, if our ears cannot hear, if we cannot see that this is the plan from the French Cameroon government, we are walking into hell. That systematically for years now, we have cried, we have asked, we have demanded. The international community has spoken. And yet, more guns, more machines, more explosives, more military are trained by the Cameroon government and sent to our territory to continue to destroy our people, destroy our land. I ask you, people of Amazonia, what on earth do you think is happening? And for those of you, elite, who are silent, who have closed your hearts, your ears, your mouths, your emotions to the suffering of our people, one day, well, only the future can tell. Your eyes have seen, your ears have heard, your minds have probably refused to understand that the French government, the dictatorship, the government that massacres its own, is determined to eliminate us, to destroy us, because they do not think that we are human enough. And yet, we allow our children to be educated by them. We buy land in their territory. We drink wine with them while they laugh at us. And in their chambers, in their government buildings, they plot evil and send their guns, their machines, which they've got from their colonial masters, to destroy us while we sleep with them, sit with them, eat with them, and give our children to be corrupted by them. Open your eyes, Amazonians, and see. Open your ears and listen. Open your eyes and see. Just the voice of reason. Nsiysi.